for me, it's all about people. And science, if you want to boil it down in my perspective, is a human endeavor. And for that, it's all about understanding that these landscapes are changing, but really the most important part is the people. Okay, and I think for me, relationships have been a key part of my personal trajectory through science and then into climate change. Because really, the planet's going to be fine. It's gone through much bigger changes in the past, but it's our human society and our ability to adapt or not to these changes that really make it a key issue for us to deal with. Is how rapidly are these glaciers receding? What's the impact of the glacial recession to water resources? Where is that meltwater going? We're now understanding a lot more about the groundwater component, but then also the water quality. So there's a quantity of water that comes down from these mountains that is important for the society below, but also the quality of that water. And so those are the kind of aspects that we're looking at when we study here in the Cordillera Blanca.
The reason we're doing that is to try to understand where water is coming from, and we're doing that repeatedly over time to try to solve or answer the question of, are the sources of water changing as glaciers are rapidly retreating and as precipitation dynamics might be changing in association with climate change? And so in Cucamonga, it's sort of a long-term research study. We've got water level loggers that tells us the stage of the river, which means how high it is. And then by periodically going there and measuring discharge, which is the volume of water going through, we can relate the height of the river, which we record continuously over time, to the volume of water moving through it. And that way we have a continuous record of the volume of water that's coming out of these glacierized valleys that are feeding the Cucamonga Valley.
Our objective is to look at the impacts of elevation-dependent warming and other variables on water quality and how fast that these glaciers are going to disappear. And so part of that requires that we go out in the field and measure temperature or humidity and other variables like precipitation at different elevations in the mountains.
Bueno, mi proyecto es el comportamiento de algunos parámetros atmosféricos como temperatura, humedad relativa, precipitación, punto de rocío, de acuerdo a los eventos del fenómeno El Niño, que se presentaron, por ejemplo, este año, el 2023-24, también se han presentado eventos en el 97-98 y el 83-84, que son los eventos más fuertes que se presentaron acá en el Perú y en todo el mundo. Entonces nosotros dependemos mucho de los glaciares porque de ahí procede el agua que utilizamos, tanto para los animales, que por ejemplo las vacas, las ovejas, para la agricultura, también es de uso potable para el uso humano. Entonces es muy importante ver cómo repercute el cambio climático en la desglaciación y cómo podemos nosotros como ingenieros ambientales aportar o hacer proyectos a largo plazo para que no nos perjudique el abastecimiento del agua, ¿no?
Como soy ingeniero ambiental, uno de nuestros principales objetivos es tratar de desacelerar el acelerado cambio climático que se viene dando, ya que el cambio climático es inevitable, pero al menos con nuestra ayuda o con nuestro granito de arena tratar de que este cambio sea más desacelerado o lo más lento posible.
Mi proyecto es seguridad hídrica, balance hídrico en toda esta zona de la cordillera Blanca, que tiene impacto directo en lo que es los centros poblados de Huaraz y zonas aledañas.
¿Cuál es mi proyecto? Pues también me gustaría estudiar sobre los recursos hídricos, también de la biodiversidad. ¿Por qué me interesa el cambio climático? Porque esto del cambio climático está siendo muy importante debido a que con el tiempo las glaciares están retrocediendo, y es por ello que me interesaría estudiar no solo de lo local, sino también a lo internacional también.
Sí, yo soy he nacido en un lugar donde hay glaciares, que es la Cordillera Blanca, en el Callejón de Guaylas. Carhuaz está ahí y nosotros nos abastecemos de los glaciares. Los glaciares es nuestra fuente de agua, nuestra fuente de vida, y debemos de cuidarlos, y por eso es que yo me siento conectada, porque creo que soy una persona de las montañas. Yo vivo aquí, así que me importa mucho.
The kids, the professors, and the authorities. For example, now when we visited Chongil, the Mayo was integrated. It means they are interested in that, and we need to work together with some social agrupations or social teams. There is a lot. For example, some farmers, some agricultures, or some other people. I think we need to integrate in these processes, because we need to learn them. Not only say, preserve your environment. We need to ask them, what do you think about the climate change? What will we do in order to preserve the waters in terms of quantity and quality and opportunity? We need to listen here, and we need to listen to the kids, because the future of the kids must be built for them, and we need to help
IPCC says that we have only a narrow window basically to counteract or to respond to the current impacts on climate change, actually globally, not only in Peru, not only regarding glaciers or high mountain environments, globally. So most importantly, I mean, the focus has been for a long time on mitigation, and I still think it's a very important part. But at the same time, we also see that the mitigation efforts have never been enough and are basically being adopted too slowly. We have to be realistic and say, okay, while we are not able to achieve the results we need to have to really counteract climate change impacts with mitigation, we also have to focus a lot on adaptation efforts.
Well, it's for our future. I feel like we're well behind in action on climate change, and there's no better way to encourage younger people, younger generations, than to take them out in the field and let them see firsthand how climate is changing. And so I feel like it's time for action. I've done a lot of work, but now I feel like the evidence that we're providing and the videography that Jenilyn is providing will help us to reach a larger audience, and that's very important.